On a remote, uninhabited barrier island, the potential for an emergency is always on your mind. You are always thinking about what could go wrong and how you might react. Something happened on this trip that we've never experienced before. Welcome to Green Ridge Outdoor Adventures. Thanks again for watching. In this video, we are on Little St. George Island off the coast of Apalachicola. At this point in our trip, we've spent 2 nights at the government dock primitive campsites in the middle part of the island. Little St. George Island, also known as Cape St. George Island, has been used by local, state, and federal governments in many different ways over its history, so it required a dock to access the island by boat. Until 1994, a lighthouse guided ships to the Apalachicola Bay for over 100 years. During World War II, the island was used as a bombing target for B-24 bombers out of Apalachicola. And soldiers also used it along with St. George Island and Dog Island to prepare for the eventual invasion of Europe on D-Day. That morning, we took our time packing up camp before we paddled to the Sike's Cut primitive campsites for our third and last night on the island. The paddle from the campsites at Government Dock to the Sike's Cut campsites is 5 miles and took us about an hour and a half. On the bay side, there are supposed to be 2 campsites, but we only saw one campsite with a fire ring and bench. After we set up camp, we walked to Sike's Cut in the beach overlooking the Gulf of Mexico. Bob Sike's Cut was dug through St. George Island by the Army Corps of Engineers in 1954 to provide ships a direct route between Apalachicola and the Gulf. The smaller of the 2 islands formed by the cut was named Little St. George Island, or Cape St. George, while the larger island retained the name of St. George Island. After spending about an hour at the beach, we walked back to camp. Due to a lack of trees, I set up my hammock about 100 yards from the campsite. And then disaster almost ensued. As I launched the drone to get one last view of the beach before sunset, for whatever reason it flew directly into the fire ring. Luckily, Josh jumped up quickly and pulled it out to prevent any significant damage. But there were a couple places where the plastic melted. With that near catastrophe behind us, I was able to get the drone up in the air for some great video of the island as the sun set. To see our fourth Little St. George Island video, as we paddle back to our secret launch location, click on the link above. As the sun moved closer to the horizon, we ate pistachios and drank wine by the fire and thought about our time on the island.